Hi there, scribblers! We finally arrived at this exciting part of the series where we take that plain boring text list cell and transform it into a beautiful polished journal entry. But before that, if you've been enjoying this series so far, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated on future videos. Thank you for being here. It truly means a lot for me. First thing that we have to do, we have to create a component for that journal entry cell. We could have just created it here, but as I told you in the previous videos, we want to keep this structure really clear and organized. So in order to remain that way, we can take use of this folder that we just created under the home called components. So here, let's just create a file, a SwiftUI view called journal cell. And there you have it. Now, if we go back to our home, instead of having a text, a hard-coded text here, let's just put our custom cell that we just created. So journal cell, and we would have a bunch of hello worlds. Of course, this is not what we want. So let's go back to that journal cell and start creating a beautiful UI. As you can see now, our preview currently displays the entire app screen, which isn't what we want. The preview macro, on the other hand, has a custom initializer with traits that will allow us to view the cell at its actual size, giving us a true representation of how it will look. We just type traits dot size that fits layout. Our entire view should change the size. And in order for us to see those changes, we should change this option from live to selectable. And as you can see, the cell is wrapped around the content. Great. Now we need some kind of data to populate this cell. Otherwise, building the UI wouldn't be as straightforward. Typically, when creating smaller reusable components, we want to pass data to them. If you recall from the previous videos, we created a model called journal entry. This is the data we'll pass into this view. So let's just type let journal entry of type journal entry. And now our previews will complain. It needs a journal entry passed into its preview. So let's just hit fix. And this is where the mock data helper comes in handy. We go to the preview mock data helper. You can see that we have a single journal entry declared here. And we're going to use that. Let's go back to journal cell and type preview mock data helper dot journal entry, and the error should go away. Let's hit reload for this preview, and we still have an error, and that is because the journal cell is also declared in the home view, where as of right now it expects an argument. So let's hit fix, and for journal entry let's just pass this entry. And if you go back to journal cell, everything should work just fine. There you have it. Next, let's just add some padding to the preview, so not the actual view but just the preview, for helping us to see better what we're doing. So just add some padding. Now let's just delete this text hello world and start building the UI. We need a V-stack with an alignment to the left or leading. We need also spacing of 8. And inside this V-stack, we will need an H-stack with an image, system name calendar. Then we will need a text, and for the text we're going to use the journal entry dot post date dot description. We're going to use the font custom font dot callout. Use a spacer. Spacer is used to push the content from the left with the content from the right at the extremes. Use a button. You know, leave the action empty for now. As label, we're going to use again an image. System name ellipsis. These are SF symbols that are provided for us by Apple. You know, the foreground style of app color theme dot accent color. The font weight is going to be semi-bold, and the font is going to be title 3. This is for making this system image larger. Now under this tag, if you just select this bracket, it's going to show you the end of it. Under it, let's put the content of that journal. Journal entry.content, and we want to limit it to just 2 lines. So for that we can just type line limit 2. We don't want to see all the content in the home page. Next, we want to build a rating that the user gave for that day. So for that, under this content, let's create a text. Let's make a string format of type mod d dash 5 journal entry dot well-being rating for that day. And basically what this initializer for string does is giving it the format that the string has to be. And the rating from before the dash, we want to have it dynamically. So this is why we pass it here a dynamic value, and it will change based on the well-being rating for that particular cell. Let's just modify the font. We want to use a custom font that caption, make it smaller. We want to add some padding. Horizontal 8, also padding dot vertical 4. The foreground style, we want to make it white. So app color theme, our own white color. And the cool thing that we want to do for this rating is to add a stroke to it, like that will emphasize it a bit more. So in order to do that, you can just add an overlay, rounded rectangle with corner radius of 6. Dot stroke, app color theme, dot secondary text color, line width 1. With just a few lines of code, we managed to build such a cool UI. Let's separate more with the rating from the content. So to do that, we can just add a padding top to this rating, 8. And also let's make it bold. As you can see, the body of this view becomes quite large. So let's split this up. Let's create an extension journal cell private var rating view, type some view. Let's just copy all this text, paste it here, and here just type rating view, and nothing should change. Only our body will become smaller, which is what we want. We could also split the content of that cell. So private var type journal content, type some view, copy this, paste it here, journal content, and also the ellipsis part, private var show more, some view. It is the best practice to add view after the naming that you decide to use. Paste it here, and then paste this here. We can also split this entire section, like name it header or something, and put it in a separate view. Private var header view, some view, and just cut everything out from here, paste it here, copy this header view naming, and paste it here. And just look at that. We have a sleek and organized body. With clear naming conventions, we know exactly what each component does. This approach not only improves our code, but also helps us grow as more efficient and valuable developers overall. We are still not yet done with the UI. As you can see, these are the stock colors. We need our theme colors applied to this cell. We also need to add corner radius and some padding. So let's just do that. In the body, let's apply a foreground style to this entire VStack. App color theme dot white color. You also need a bit of padding. The background needs to be our custom background color. And last but not least, the clip shape should be a rounded rectangle with corner radius of 16. There you have it. As great as this looks, the date in the header section feels a bit too verbose. We need something more refined and elegant. This is the perfect opportunity to leverage extensions to save the day. So let's create the date extension. Under the core folder, we have extensions folder. Let's hit new file from template, Swift file, date. And in here, we just have to type extension, date. Let's create a function called formatted as day, month, year. This will return a string. We need to use a date formatter, so for that just type date formatter. Formatter date format should be a form day, month, and year. This format translates into something like 13 October 1993. And we have to just return that formatter.string from self. And now let's just go back to our journal cell file, and if we go to the header view, so command click, we have this text with the journal entry.postdate.description. We should use our custom function that we just created. So just type formatted as day, month, year. And look at that. And this is the beauty of extensions. By having this functionality in a separate file, we can write just a few lines of code to format our text while keeping our view clean and uncluttered. As the saying goes, a view should be as simple and as dumb as possible. And what that means is that we should always try to minimize the amount of logic within our UI code. And for the final check, let's head back to the home view and see how our list of journal entries got its well-deserved glow up. Just check that out. We now have an awesome list of journal entries, complete with perfect padding, sleek icons, and vibrant colors. And that concludes this video. Feel free to rewatch it, reflect on the concepts, and practice the parts that might have been a bit tricky for you. In the next video, we'll dive into the Add Journal Entry screen, and until then, happy scribbling!